की बार बार वंदना, बार बार वंदना, बार बार वंदना। भोले भक्तवत्सल भगवान की जय, श्री सुखदेव भगवान की जय, श्री सीताराम चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय, सरजू महारानी की जय, अयोध्या धाम की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, कामाख्या धाम की जय, आदि शक्ति जगत जननी मैया जगदम्बे की, कामाख्या भवानी की, सिद्धिदाता श्री गणेश भगवान की, महामाया लक्ष्मी मैया की, श्री हनुमान जी महाराज की, श्री हनुमान जी महाराज की, श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय जय श्री राधे। ओम नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव। आपको जाओ सही करो, जैसे थोड़ा सा अकारण करुणा वरुणालय, भक्तवांक्षा कल्पतरु, अखंड ब्रह्मांड नायक, जगत नियंता परमेश्वर, कर्तुम अकर्तुम अन्यथा न कर्तुम सर्वसमर्थ जगदीश्वर, श्री बालकृष्ण महाराज की वांगमयी शब्दमयी प्रतिमूर्ति श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण, श्री राधा माधव श्याम माधव के अनंत कृपा फल स्वरूप मानव को, जीवात्मा को संसार रूपी भवाटवी से पार उतारने का एकमात्र साधन सत्संग, सेवा और सुमिरन, एकमात्र श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण। इस कथा के सुधा रस का पान करने वाले अयोध्या धाम में विराजमान हनुमानगढ़ी के ऊपर मेरे अनंत बलवंत श्री हनुमान जी महाराज के श्री चरणों में प्रणत निवेदन करते हुए इस कार्यक्रम के मुख्य सूत्रधार मां कामाख्या भवानी के मुख्य पुजारी आदरणीय श्री बृजकिशोर मिश्र जी, अयोध्या धाम से पधारे हुए हमारे समस्त वैदिक विद्वानगण, समस्त संगीत बंधुगण, दूर दराज से आए हुए सभी धर्मानुरागी सज्जनों एवं धर्म
There are people who need to be served. There are a huge population which is downtrodden, to say that they don't have access to things. The next 500 million people who speak in their own vernacular languages, they wanted to feel welcomed there, right? And this is the India who were forgotten.
One of the biggest reasons for where India is today is the fact that the amount of emphasis that was there for a boy's education was not there for the girl's education in the same household within the siblings.
If you can go and provide value to people's lives, students' lives, nothing can be more emancipating. I spent first few years of my life in my village in Bihar. Until grade 6 when I was studying, I was in a Hindi medium Bihar board school. I could speak in pure Hindi. I would go to my mom and tell her I need 6 rupees because I have to drink Sheetal Pay. And that alarmed my parents. Iska kuch nahi ho sakta because he does not know how to speak even a single line or sentence in English. So they put me in a boarding school where speaking in Hindi was a so-called crime. So first 1 year of my boarding school life, I did not speak at all. From there, I did well in studies. I came to Delhi, my worldview expanded further. It was not just about not having privileges. It was also coming from a state which was crime infested. I still can't stand yellow lights, but because that reminds me of Bihar. We could not light up a tube light because we never had that voltage. It has left a scar in our psyche that I can't stand it.
We got married in December 2008. In February 2009, we met with a very serious accident.
And given the injury that I had, I could not take up any job which was too physically intensive. And we had to shut down our first venture.
We needed to kind of somehow run the house as well.
When I was not making, Tanushi was running the house, so you'll have to hear कि तुम्हारी बीवी तुम्हारा घर चलाती है and things like that, the regular Indian affair. Thankfully, we are wired in a way where we don't think too much about what is happening around us, what people are talking about it, and we continue doing what we had to do at that point of time.
I know in my family, at least before I did what I did, people would have not appreciated a lot in terms of a girl being full-time working. They feel that, the house is not kept well if the girl is working. The kids are not taken care of if the girl is working. The khana that is served is not good if the girl is working. The house is definitely not prim and proper if the girl is working.
Students have anxieties about different things. The first anxiety, obviously because of the peer pressure, parental pressure, is about marks and your grades. Doubtnut takes care of the doubts of the student. Doubtnut is student first, vernacular first, mobile first, and tech first education company.
Populations in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore are very dense, which means that you can actually reach them physically. For this population, actually for the economics to make sense, the best way to reach them or the best way to get them to engage is to reach them digitally. The biggest hook is doubt solving. Students click the picture of a question and get a video solution immediately. There are almost 2 million questions being answered every day on Doubtnut.
They have this whole chunk of India which has come online, and they also have the equal rights over every resource. And we have to build for them also. From the very first day, we had kept one thing in mind, that we are building this platform, this app for students and not for parents. We don't have to sell it to parents, we have to make it for the anxieties of the students. One of our students, he came from a place called Bhajan in West Bengal. When we had launched, he was our first student who used it. Every month, he would cycle down 10 kilometers to one of his relatives to pay a small amount to keep using our platform. He was our student until he finished his studies and did well. It's quite fascinating what lengths students can go.
And they work very hard. I was just reading about one of the persons today. The internet bandwidth in their area is pretty low in the evenings when we do classes. So he actually watches the recorded session from 2 a.m. at night to 6 a.m. because that's when the internet bandwidth is the best in their area. So they're working that hard. Like it doesn't come easy to them at all. Until 1.5 years back or until 2 years back, the percentage of girls on our app was only 10%. We realized that there is a taboo associated with females using phones. That also thankfully has been changing. The percentage of females now is 30%. It is extremely important for the development of a nation for the female population to work, and we're losing out on that. If we were to make it a mission where from each, let's say, village or each town or each locality, we are able to create one female success story, I think it will kind of spread, because people are able to see what difference it makes to not only the life of the female, but the entire, community around it. Educate one girl and the entire family gets educated, and I've seen that in many families.
When we started, majority of education which was online in India was English. these people who we call next half billion Hindi speaking or other vernacular language speaking people also came online. Education companies then were not geared to solve for the comfort of these people who had come online. So we made all our content in what we call conversational Hindi. And then now we are also creating content in pure vernaculars, pure Hindi, pure Gujarati, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu. Now with that, what happened that students thought it is for us. So there is a huge appetite for students to consume content in their own vernacular languages, and responsibility is on us to provide them that. It is not every day you get a chance where you can directly impact somebody's lives, those who need it, and we were there to serve them. Social impact is something which will not come easy in a country like ours, right? Things have to be built. People like us have to build it.
If you don't stay connected, you are never going to realize who the people are, what their problems are, and what sort of microcosm you yourself live in.
Because we are solving for the next half billion, the scale is massive. There is no way we can solve for it without using technology.
Say, hi, I'm Ishan Kishan.
Hi, I am Ishan Kishan,
And you can watch me on
and you can watch me on
Breakfast with
BKC.
BKC तो बैटरा कुर्ला कॉम्प्लेक्स है.
अरे मैं भूल गया.
Oh God.
BWC. Watch me on BWC, please.
Yeah. इसको तो डालना पड़ेगा.
डाल देना कोई बात.
Chappi, Gichi, Ishu, Lala, TP, Pocket Rocket, Pint Size Dynamite, MI Kishan. नाम चाहे 1 करोड़ हो, पर है ये करोड़ों में एक. मैं हूं गौरव कपूर और आज मेरे साथ हैं ईशान किशन to speak about his mischievous, meme-worthy antics on Skoda presents Breakfast with Champions.
जब मैं विजय हजारे में आया था, तो धोनी भाई खेल रहे थे वहां पे. मैं उधर थर्ड मैन पे था, फील्डिंग कर रहा था. अचानक से स्ट्राइक चेंज हुआ, धोनी भाई ने कर दिया. अब मैं समझू ये क्या हो गया. मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा था ये चेंज होने का वाला है.
Yeah.
फिर मैं स्लिप वाले से पूछा, भैया
बता दो.
एक बार पूछो जरा जाना किधर है. उसमें भी धोनी भाई करते. किधर जाऊं भाई मैं.
But your wicket keeping started while looking at MS only.
नहीं मैं पहले से ही स्टार्ट कर दिया था कीपिंग.
अच्छा.
मैं बोला कुछ तो ऐसा करना है जो मैं पूरे टाइम बिजी रहूं. तो मैं कीपिंग पकड़ा था और मैं एक दिन किया था और अचानक से कोई इंजर्ड हो गया अगले दिन जहां हमारा मैच था, तो मुझे कीपिंग के लिए भेज दिया, ये जान कीपिंग कर ले. और मैंने 3-4 कैच पकड़ लिया कूद के. बस मुझे भी मजा आ गया और कोई स्टंप हो तो मुझे और मजा आ जाए ऐसे विकेट उखाड़ने में. बस उसके बाद तो कीपिंग ही किया हमेशा.
In the wicket keeping business, what have you learned from MS?
पहले तो उनका भी जैसे हम लोग कीपिंग देखते रहते थे, जैसे हमारा हैंड मूवमेंट क्या होता है, ऐसे रहते हैं, एज लगता है तो ऐसे जाते हैं. बट उन्होंने मुझे अभी बताया कि हैंड मूवमेंट शुड बी बस इतना. दिस शुड बी योर मूवमेंट, लाइक नॉट जस्ट योर रिस्ट, दिस शुड गो लाइक दिस. फिर जब तेरा ये आदत हो जाएगा